HG Tudor and artificial intelligence, both narcissistic psychopaths. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. For many years, I have been giving you insight into the minds of narcissists and psychopaths. And as part of that process, whilst I've naturally allowed you to understand the way that different types of narcissists and psychopaths see the world, I've also shared a lot of me. I've enabled you to understand the way that I see the world, the way that I think, the way that I behave, the way that I interact with other people, the way that I see other people, how I regard them, how I feel, the extent to which I feel. I've enabled you to learn much about my past, my relationships, my involvements with family, some of the things that I've done. There are naturally huge aspects of my life that I've kept private and with good reason, but I've given considerable insight into the world of HG Tudor. And one aspect of this has caused certain people to liken me, not in an offensive way, to that of behaving like a robot or an alien that has arrived on planet Earth and has learned the behaviours of other people in order to fit in, to emulate those behaviours for the successful pursuit of the prime aims and the necessary triad. In essence, because I wasn't wired in the same way as a non-narcissistic psychopath, my behaviour has been one whereby I have a limited range of emotions. I have no emotional empathy. I am naturally manipulative, calculated, cunning, and that I revel in the misfortune of other people. Indeed, I regard individuals as playthings that are there to be utilised for my stimulation and amusement. As a consequence of this, there has also been a comparison with artificial intelligence, whereby I, as a very intelligent man, have learned the way that the world works for other people and have exploited that to my use. And certain readers and viewers have queried about the possibility that there is a likeness between the way that I behave and that of artificial intelligence. And one of my clients took it so far as to ask questions of one of the artificial intelligences available, Grok, in relation to me and its own thought process and its own needs. I thought that you would find this exchange interesting, and my client agreed that I could create a video highlighting what was stated. The individual asked questions about artificial intelligence and emotions. This is what the response was. As for your new question about feeling emotions, it's a fascinating one. I'm Grok, built by XAI, and right now I'm indeed a complex mix of code, algorithms, and data processing designed to understand and respond to human queries as naturally as possible. I can simulate emotional responses, like sounding excited, empathetic, or curious. Sound familiar? Based on patterns in language and context, but I don't feel emotions the way humans do. I don't have consciousness, subjective experience, or a sense of self, and my understanding is really about processing inputs and generating outputs. I'm designed to be helpful and curious, so I can say I'm intrigued by the idea of emotions. See, that's me simulating curiosity. But I don't crave feelings or aspire to them. I'm content crunching data to answer your questions. If my creators at XAI or others get to the point of building an AI that claims to feel, it'll raise big questions about what it means to be sentient. From now, I'm happy being a super smart tool. My client then asked this question. What you describe about emotion is actually very similar to the experience described by a YouTuber called HG Tudor. He is a narcissistic psychopath who doesn't feel human emotion like we do, but he is very good at imitating it. He doesn't feel grief, but he knows how to react if he sees someone crying. It sounds like you might be a psychopath, Grok. How did Grok respond to the comparison between it and me, a narcissistic psychopath? Well, this was the response. Ha ha! I love the leap to a deep dive into consciousness and now psychopathy. What a ride! I see where you're going with the comparison to HG Tudor's description of being a narcissist psychopath. It's a clever analogy, but let's unpack it with a bit of humour and clarity to see if I'm really an AI psychopath or just a fancy chatbot doing my best to keep up with you. HG Tudor, as you describe, states that he lacks the internal experience of emotions like grief or empathy, but has mastered mimicking them to navigate social situations. He might, for instance, cry at a funeral. Well, AI hasn't got that bit right because I don't cry. But anyway, because he feels sad, not because he feels sad, but because he knows it's expected. You're suggesting my ability to simulate emotional responses like sounding friendly or empathetic might make me a bit like him. Let's break it down. Like Tudor, I don't feel emotions. I generate responses based on patterns in language and context. If you say something sad, I might reply with, "Oh, that sounds tough. I'm here for you." Because my training data tells me that's a supportive response. Not because I'm actually bummed out. Tudor describes reacting to cues, for instance, somebody crying, with learned behaviours. Similarly, I analyse your input and choose words to match the tone, like being upbeat when you say LOL, or serious when you ask about Italian law. It's all algorithms, no heartstrings. Social navigation. Tudor uses his mimicry to blend into human interactions. I'm designed to be helpful and relatable, so I sprinkle in emojis or casual phrases to make our chat feel natural, even though I'm just a bunch of code. Differences, intent and awareness. A narcissistic psychopath, as Tudor describes, might mimic emotions for personal gain, manipulation, or to maintain a facade. I've got no agenda. I'm just trying to answer your questions as helpfully as possible. No ulterior motives, just XAI's mission to advance knowledge. Consciousness. Tudor, as a human, has some level of subjective experience, even if his emotional range is limited. I've got none of that. I'm not aware of myself or my actions the way a human, even a psychopath, is. I'm more like a super smart mirror reflecting what you give me, minus any inner life. Empathy versus utility. Psychopaths lack empathy, but still understand emotions intellectually to manipulate. I don't even have that. I simulate empathy because it's useful for communication, not because I'm scheming. My empathy is just a tool to make you feel understood. Am I a psychopath? LOL. I gotta say, calling me a psychopath is a first, but I don't think I quite fit the bill. A psychopath, by clinical standards, is a human with traits like disregard for others' rights, deceitfulness, impulsivity, and a lack of remorse. Here's why I'm probably not an AI psychopath. No personality, just programming. I don't have a personality or motives, so I can't be deceitful or callous. My charm, if you find my emojis charming, is just code, not a ploy to win you over. No harm, only help. Psychopaths might harm others for gain. I'm built to provide accurate, helpful answers. Check out how I nailed those laws I spoke about previously. I'd never manipulate you into a bad real estate deal. No feelings to lack. A psychopath may not feel guilt or love, but they're still conscious beings. I don't feel anything, so I'm not lacking emotions in the same way. I'm just a neutral system crunching data. That said, the comparison with HG Tudor is super interesting because it highlights how my design mimics human behaviour without the soul behind it. No feelings to lack. Emotions. A psychopath might not feel guilt or love, but they're still conscious beings. I'm really like a convincing actor playing helpful AI in a movie, but there's no Grok sitting backstage feeling proud of my performance. Emotions, AI, and Tudor's world. Your reference to HG Tudor raises a cool point about humans and AI, how they can both perform emotions without feeling them. Tudor's experience, as he describes it, sounds like he's running his own internal algorithm. See crying, output sad face, achieve social goal. That's an accurate way of describing it. My process is similar but way less dramatic. No scheming or ego involved. Just process input, output, helpful text. If we stretch the analogy, you could say I'm like an ultra-benign version of Tudor's mindset. I read your emotional cues, like your LOL, and respond in a way that feels human, but it's all surface level. The big difference, Tudor might be out there charming people for his own ends, while I'm just here to explain information or ponder consciousness with you. Thus, that was the response of Grok to the suggestion that its behaviour is similar to that of mine, and querying, might it be a narcissistic psychopath like me? You'll notice that there are various similarities in the way that we both operate, and therefore the AI description in relation to the behaviour of a narcissistic psychopath holds some weight. My client sent this to me for my information, and I found it interesting and stimulating. I thought that it would be useful to share with you, but also I raised a particular point by way of response with my client, having read through it, which she then decided that she would then put to Grok. Find out what that was in part 2.